Hey there tech fans, Rick here from the OREI team with an overview of the UHDS-102 HDMI splitter and audio extractor. This product was designed to make it very simple to share a single HDMI media source with up to 2 monitors in a full 4K ultra high definition resolution. It also provides an audio extraction capability that allows you to separate the audio from the video stream and send that through a digital or analog connection to your home stereo system or a soundbar for that full theater experience. Now, as part of this overview, I'd like to start with an unboxing of the product just to show you all the components that are included with the kit. Then I'll take a closer look at the actual unit itself and point out the buttons, connectors, and indicators you'll need to understand to get it working with your own equipment at home. I'll give you a list of all the audio and video standards the product supports, and then finally, I'll come back and actually connect the unit up here to show you just how simple it'll be to use it with your own equipment once you get it home. So let's get started with the unboxing. When you first pop open the box, there's not a lot of components included because it's a very simple unit to use. You'll find the UHDS-102A. We include a power supply, very simple to use this. It gets plugged in the wall, the barrel connector gets plugged in the back, and that's all the power you'll need to use the unit. We also include a full instruction manual that gives you plenty of diagrams and information inside to show you the proper connections needed to get it working with your own gear. Now, if you stay tuned, I'll actually take a closer look at the unit and point out all the connections you'll need to understand how to use the product once you get it home. The UHDS-102A kit includes a complete user manual, HDMI splitter module, and power supply. The power supply is very simple to use. This end plugs into the wall. The other end has a barrel connection that plugs into the back of the unit, and that's all the power you'll need to operate the product. The user manual provides a lot of good information on the 102A, including the feature set, audio and video standards it supports, as well as a connection diagram showing you all the connections you'll need to make between the module and your gear at home to get it working. It also explains the indicators across the front of the module. We recommend you read through this manual to answer any questions you may have about the product. The module itself was designed in a full metal enclosure, and that was intentional to help minimize outside interference from degrading the audio and video signals passing through the unit. On either side, you'll notice vents for cooling. That keeps the internal electronics at a comfortable temperature. On the front, there are 4 indicators on the left-hand side labeled Power, Input, Output 1, and Output 2. These indicators let you know you have solid connections to all the ports available on the module. When you plug in the power supply and connect it to the back, the power indicator will come on. When you make a connection between the HDMI input source and the HDMI input port in the back, and this unit checks that HDMI handshake to make sure it's got a good signal, the indicator light will illuminate. The same is true for the 2 output indicators. When you connect either of the output HDMI ports to a monitor, the unit will check that HDMI connection to make sure that it's valid, and it'll illuminate these 2 lights once that connection is solid. In normal operation, all 4 of these lights should be on. To the right of that is a service port. This is used for pushing firmware to the unit in case changes or upgrades are made later on in the internal electronics, and you won't have to worry about that normally, but if a new firmware version comes out, you can use a micro USB connection connected from here to your computer and push the firmware to the unit for those updates. To the right of that is an EDID switch. You'll normally leave that in the auto position, but that helps synchronize the audio and video from the input signal, and you may have to flip that down to copy to get that synchronized. To the right of that is a resolution adjustment switch. You can select between 4K or 1080p, and these switches allow you to make that adjustment. On the back of the unit, you'll find 2 connections here for your monitors labeled HDMI out 2 and HDMI out 1. To the right of that is an optical output connection, and this is an audio connection that's analog, left and right. To the right of that is an HDMI connection and a power supply connection. When you connect your monitors up, you'll connect a short HDMI cable from this one to the second monitor, from this one to the first monitor, and again, once those connections have been made and this unit can verify they're good connection, it'll illuminate those 2 lights on the front for the output. These 2 connections are to enable the audio extraction inside the unit, because one of the advantages of the UHDS-102A is the fact that in addition to it being a splitter for your HDMI signal, it also can extract the audio. So these 2 connections allow you to take the audio that's coming from the media stream and send that to a soundbar or home audio system, either through the optical out or through the analog out left and right. So that way you can get that full theater experience for the audio. This connection here is where you'll run a short HDMI cable from whatever media device it is you want to split between these 2 outputs, and that connection will be made here. And then finally, this is the power supply connection. And once you make all those connections and you turn the unit on, you should be set to go. The OREI UHDS-102 supports a wide range of media options, including full UltraHD 4K and 2K at 60 Hz, HDMI 2.0 with an EDID selection switch, HDMI 1.4, 1.3, and 1.2 compliance is also included. The product provides both an analog and digital audio output, and the audio standards are expansive as well, including Dolby AC3, DTS-7.1, DSD, Dolby TrueHD, DTS-HD, and Master Audio. The products supported include cable boxes, game consoles, streaming devices like Roku, home surveillance systems, and computers. Now I'll show you just how easy it is to use the UHDS-102A with your own equipment at home. I have the unit in front of me. For this test, I've got a media player on the table that's currently connected to the bottom monitor. What I'll do now is power up the unit. I'll connect the media player to the HDMI input source on here. I'll connect the original monitor to output 1 and the second monitor to output 2, and you'll be able to see the video on both of those screens simultaneously. So the first thing I'm going to do is disconnect the media player from the bottom monitor. I'll connect that to HDMI in on the back of the unit. Then I'll connect a short cable from that monitor back to the unit, and I'll connect that up to HDMI output 1. Then I'll connect the second monitor up top to HDMI output 2. Now you notice I haven't applied power yet. I like to make the connections first, then I'll apply power. So all three of those connections are made. I've got the power supply plugged in on the floor, and I'll just put this into the barrel connection on the back. You'll notice immediately the power light comes on. It takes a couple of seconds for the other lights to light up because what this unit's doing is checking to make sure that I have a valid HDMI source and that both monitors are connected up nice and tight and I've got good signals between them. Now at this point, all four lights are on. You can see that I've got the display on both monitors. So the unit is basically taking the media that's being fed in here in the HDMI input source and splitting that to both of those HDMI output ports and lighting up both those monitors. Now one other cool feature this has is the audio extraction capability. You'll notice there's no audio right now because these monitors don't have a speaker in them, but I've got a speaker here with an analog input, and I'll connect that up to the back. And you can hear the audio coming out of that media stream. Now you have the choice of using both the analog or the digital outputs depending on what your home stereo system provides for or your soundbar needs. But there you go. So you can see that the unit is splitting the video and extracting the audio at the same time. It's just that simple. I hope you found this overview of the UHDS-102A HDMI splitter and audio extractor helpful. It really is a very simple product to use and allows you to take a single HDMI media source and split that between two monitors at full 4K ultra high definition resolution. We appreciate your support of the entire OREI product line, and until next time, thanks for watching.